Okay.
You know, one of the things that a lot of people don't know, trivia about that show, is that Warner Brothers, that had all the copyright to Superman and a lot of the superheroes, they filed a lawsuit against Cannell for copyright infringement, claiming that the character was based on Superman.
That's way off.
I mean, it was way off, but what they were trying to do was quelch the show.
Right.
And which it effectively did. It really cut in. It wasn't settled for years, and it cut into the whole marketing campaign.
And Warner Brothers is notorious for that, I think.
You know, they have all those attorneys on retainer, so
Yeah.
why not? You know, they're paying them anyway.
Yeah. So, any questions? Sure.
Yeah. What was your favorite episode and why? Your favorite Bill episode, and what was the funniest thing that ever happened on the set? Like a blooper.
Probably. Well, there was so many great episodes. One of my favorite was My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, which was an early episode. And the reason being is because my dad was a cowboy star. You know, my dad played Kit Carson in the 50s. My dad's name was Bill Williams. And so it was kind of personal to me. You know, I liked that episode. There was also an episode later on that I just loved, where we kind of go through the fourth dimension, or the third dimension. I can't remember it. I remember an old lady in a rocking chair. What was it called?
The Beast in the Black.
Beast in the Black. Had to be one of my favorite episodes.
I think I better get back to start
It was
watching the
so
show.
much fun.
I wrote a sequel to that too. Yeah.
No, I remember that one.
This
I
does
used to watch
remind me
so
about My
time.
Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys too, because didn't that take place at like a convention?
It did.
In the superhero, I have photographed. I remember all the episodes. I just love them. And John Hart,
Who was it?
the Lone Ranger, you went to see at a convention. I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't Clayton Moore.
It wasn't Clayton Moore. It was John Hart. He'd also played the Adventures of Captain Africa in the 50s, and he was the Lone Ranger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Captain
remember that
America's lesser
episode.
known cousin.
Yeah, it was kind of.
I think it was in the first episodes. It was in the first group of 6 episodes that we did.
Have you ever been in any westerns or anything?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I've
yeah?
done some westerns, and the most recent was I did a John Milius miniseries for TNT, The Rough Riders,
Oh, okay.
where I worked with again Gary Busey and Sam Elliott and Tom Berenger. We spent 4 months in Texas. It was a wild show.
Yeah, with your mustache, you'd make a good General Custer.
There you go.
Or Buffalo Bill.
I'm a little.
Actually, one of the. You got the look. That's neat. Well, I have a couple things I wanted to bring up. You were very successful in Pippin, the musical Pippin. Anyone seen Pippin? I remember seeing that in school and then seeing it on TV one night. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, interesting that they chose Charlemagne's son, Pippin. Wrote a musical based on him. I know that that was a big role for you. Any stories from that experience on stage or anything worth telling about?
The only piece of trivia involved with Pippin is that I had auditioned for it half a dozen times for Stu Ostrow, the producer, and I had auditioned for Bob Fosse many times, and I think the reason I eventually ended up doing it was because I aged better than John Rubinstein, who got too old to do the role, and I was involved with Hero, was just finishing its first season, and I was quite popular at the time, so I think that helped boost my likability and the reason I got the show.
Any other questions?
Just want to make sure I'm getting the record right. A few years ago, I saw some film on cable. I'm pretty sure it was you. I think you played a city councilman that slept with a prostitute, call girl or something like that.
Was it last call or?
Naked Obsession. I did a film.
Yeah, Naked
Obsession for Corman.
Okay, yeah, I saw some of that. I was trying to see if that was the same person.
Well, I definitely know to say I'm sorry. Because the script was actually quite good. And the way it turned out was not what I would have hoped, but...
well, your performance was okay.
Yeah.
I have to say that much. And I'd just like to add, too, is I watched Greatest American Hero when I was really young, and despite the comedy elements, even if regardless if it was comedy or serious, I liked that, it plainly showed a guy that was a superhero that had flaws.
Yeah.
It's almost like in some ways, if they had taken the Superman films, they could have made it better, like if he had accidentally crashed into a building or something, or nearly got hit by a plane, oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, kind of showed like that you could put a light side into it too, with still having serious tone.
Yeah, it was fun.
The DVDs are doing well, I know.
Yeah, the DVDs did really, really well.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
Sometimes on a show like that, you get people who are otherwise famous, like they're in government or something like that, who are kind of secret fans. Did anybody famous ever, like, indicate that they were a big fan of the show while you were on it?
Yeah, George and I are like that. No.